The Ministry of Health has appealed to those who have been in direct or indirect contact with the Hungarian Foreign Minister Péter Szijjártó, who tested positive for COVID-19 after his visit to Cambodia, to take a test at Csák Health Center. The announcement was made by the ministry to avoid concern over an outbreak, and it stated that a total of 628 people, who believed they came into direct or indirect contact, tested for the virus and none were positive. Health Ministry spokeswoman Van Dijn told Khmer Times yesterday that after the ministry received information of Szijjártó's COVID-19 test result, the ministry immediately conducted a track and trace to find those who had been in contact with him during his visit to Cambodia on Tuesday. Everyone who has been tracked so far has since submitted a sample for testing to the Pasteur Institute. As of last night, Wednesday, a total of 628 people who came into contact had been tested by the Institut Pasteur du Cambodge, which all came back negative of COVID-19. However, they must continue to isolate for another 14 days before being tested again, she said. Van Dijn said the ministry is still investigating and appealed to those who think they have been in direct or indirect contact to take a test. Anyone who has been indirectly affected or think they have been in contact with these 628 people, please seek a medical test for COVID-19 at Csák Health Center to avoid suspicion and anxiety. They must also monitor their health for 14 days, she added. Van Dijn once again warned all citizens to continue to adhere to the protective measures, by wearing masks where possible, or by covering their mouth with a handkerchief or scarf when coughing or sneezing to avoid virus transmission. In related news, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced yesterday that even though yesterday's test results were all negative for COVID-19, all leaders and officials directly in contact with the Hungarian Foreign Minister will continue to quarantine for 14 days, before testing again. Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesman Choi Kuang said yesterday that on Wednesday, leaders and officials at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs tested negative for coronavirus, despite meeting and interacting directly with Szijjártó. This morning, yesterday, the Ministry of Health confirmed that all leaders and civil servants of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs tested negative for COVID-19, he said. However, all relevant leaders and civil servants will continue to self-quarantine for another 14 days and wait for the next test as scheduled, he said. Prime Minister Hun Sen said on his Facebook page yesterday that he has now been quarantining for 30 hours since his contact with Szijjártó, but feels normal. There is nothing strange in my body at all. I eat, rest, review reports, review decisions of ministries and institutions and sign documents as before, he said. The strange thing is that my wife and I share a room and we do not dare to touch each other. Mr. Hun Sen added that all staff in his house are following measures as instructed by doctors. In my case, my wife and everyone who I have been in contact with must take a test 4 times. The first time on November 4th, the second time on November 9th, the third time on November 14th and the last time will be on November 18, 2020. Mr. Hun Sen said the experience of preventing COVID-19 from infecting the community over the past 10 months, has come from quarantine measures outlined and implemented by the Ministry of Health and good practices from individuals who have had to quarantine, which he and his wife are now doing. Prevention is better than a cure. We must work together to prevent COVID-19 from infecting us, our families, our community and our country, he said. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry yesterday issued a statement confirming that no new case of COVID-19 has been recorded. It also said that 3 patients who had contracted the disease had now recovered. The statement said that the 3 patients are 33-year-old Cambodian man, from Kampong Thom province, who traveled from Iraq via Doha and South Korea and arrived in Cambodia on October 18. The second recovery was a 47-year-old Polish man staying in Sihanouk province, who traveled from Poland via South Korea and arrived in Cambodia on October 19. The final recovery was of a 37-year-old Frenchman, staying in Phnom Penh, who traveled from France via Taiwan and arrived in Cambodia on October 11. All 3 tested negative twice for COVID-19 and were subsequently discharged from the Khmer Soviet Friendship Hospital. 6 active cases now remain in the kingdom, 5 of whom are Cambodians and 1 Frenchman. The number of confirmed cases in the kingdom is 292, comprising of 182 Cambodians, 45 French, 18 Chinese, 13 Malaysians, 9 Indonesians, 7 Americans, 6 British, 3 Vietnamese, 3 Canadians, 2 Indians, 1 Belgian, 1 Kazakh, 1 Hungarian and 1 Polish.